Welcome to this session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice. We'll go through the short practices of settling and centering, mindfulness of body and breathing, mindfulness and awareness of environment, and our compassion practice. And one thing I'd like to encourage you to do, we're going to start with our eyes closed to kind of get settled and centered and more in our body, out of our conceptual mind. But then we're going to practice with our eyes open. So you're going to want to turn your device or move your seat in a way that you won't be looking directly into your screen. And I think we'll begin, we'll have our discussion afterwards. So we'll leave a little extra time for that so we can go right into the practice. And this is something that my meditation teacher taught, and that was you don't start working with the mindfulness practice right away. First, you just sit there. So we'll work with our posture and just relax into the experience of being here, and then we'll add more of the technique. Okay, so whatever seat you're in, we're doing this in a sitting mode because if we lie down, we tend to fall asleep. If we stand up, we tend to want to walk. And there is a walking meditation practice, but for today, what we're doing is the sitting practice. If you can sit up without leaning back against anything, but if you need to lean back against something, just slide your butt right back against the back of that chair or the wall and sit up as straight as you can without being rigid about it or forcing or pain in any way causing pain. So let's start with our sit bones and feel them pressing into the seat that you're on. And check to see that your weight is evenly balanced on each one, that you're not tilted too far to the right or too far to the left. You can even tilt a little bit and get that feeling of not left, not right. You can even tilt a little forward and back. And when you're not forward or back, not left or right, that means you're centered. As for your feet and legs, if you're on a cushion on the floor, they're probably already crossed in front of you. If you're on a chair, you can have your feet flat on the floor, shins perpendicular to the floor, feet about hip width apart and knees about hip width apart. Now, if your knees are higher than your hips in whatever seat you are, just slide your feet across from towards each other and then cross at the ankles and let your knees open up wider so that they are slightly below your hips. Then, as far as your torso goes, as I said, upright but not rigid. And not just your back, but let that uprightness extend to the back of your neck and the back of your head, as if there's a straight line from the back of the top of your head down to your tailbone. Now, there isn't. There's a natural curvature to the body. But if you feel that, then you'll feel that the back of your neck and the back of your head is an extension of that upright torso. And what will happen is your chin will naturally come in a little bit because we spend so much of our time kind of getting ahead of ourselves. You see older people who are stooped over and their chin is sticking way out, and it's like we're trying to get somewhere instead of simply being where we are. So the chin comes in naturally. If it tilts down too much, we get sleepy. If it tilts up too much, we get spaced out. So this is upright, not too much in one direction, not too much in another. Your upper arms Let them hang straight down from your shoulders. And then bend your elbows and swivel your forearms up along your thighs with your hands palm down on each thigh, respectively. They'll come down just below your knees. This way, we're not curved and reaching forward, and we're not artificially pulling back. Now, the one little area of tension that I want to introduce is a little effort to take your breastbone, the center of your breastbone, and feel like you're raising that up just a quarter of an inch, a tiny bit, up and forward. When that happens, you'll feel your chest open up, your shoulders come back in line with your ears and your spine. Your breathing will be much more natural that way and fill your lungs across as well as up and down. And then I mentioned your chin comes in naturally, but don't artificially pull it in. Just soften your jaw without your mouth hanging slack open. Your lips can be either very lightly touching or slightly parted. We're going to breathe in through our nostrils, and then the breath comes up and down into our lungs. And as you breathe out, if some comes out your mouth, that's fine. We don't breathe in through our nose and then blow out hard through our mouth that you see some people do. That's a different kind of practice. We're just letting our body breathe naturally. You can let your tongue either rest as it is naturally, or let it float up and rest the tip of your tongue very lightly against the upper palate just behind your front teeth. It said that lessens the flow of saliva. But if you feel like you need to swallow, go ahead and swallow. If you have a sharp pain anywhere, definitely move. If you have something that's nagging at you and occupies your mind so that you can't really pay attention to your breathing or the object of our awareness, at some point, simply decide you're going to address that and consciously move or consciously scratch the itch and return to your posture. So we have our jaw softened and relaxed, our breastbone raised a tiny bit, a feeling of straightness from the back of the top of our head all the way down to our tailbone, knees a little bit below our hips, hands palm down on our thighs, forearms along our thighs. And feel your weight on the seat. With each out-breath, just feel yourself sinking down a little bit more. Sometimes it's as if we're perching on our seat, ready to go. Again, for a little bit, you don't have any place to go. Breathe out, sink down. Breathe out, sink down. Sometimes if there's feeling of residual tension and it's hard to sink down, we can do a body scan. Just aware of any tension in our face and scalp, our jaw, neck and shoulders. Breathe out, let that tension melt. We have a little tension in our chest opening up, raising that breastbone a tiny bit. Let everything else relax around it. Let your shoulders just hang. chest, upper arms, upper back, rib cage all around. Breathe out, let all the tension melt that we don't need to hold our posture. Lower back, stomach, deep belly. Sometimes our deep belly and genitals are clenched and we don't even realize it. Breathe out, let go. Breathe out, soften. Breathe out, sink down. Hips, thighs, forearms, and hands. Breathe out, let the tension melt. Knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Breathe out, let the tension just melt and flow down into the earth. Breathe out and sink down. Feel you're part of the earth. Very grounded, but upright, majestic like a mountain. And tune into that feeling of solidity in your deep core. We have depth to our bodies, front to back as well as side to side. Let your awareness rest a couple of inches below your navel, just in front of your spine. When we let the breath come all the way in, it almost feels like the breath is coming down all the way into our core. It's our diaphragm pushing down to bring air in and pushing up to send air out. But feel that rhythm. Let your body do the breathing. Just be an observer. You can relax. You don't have to do anything. Your body will breathe by itself. Just let your mind rest with that rhythm. The rhythm of the body breathing itself. As if you're relaxing on the beach, tuning into the rhythm of the water coming up the sand and back into the ocean. Up and back. You might notice a sensation coming up of feeling a need to do something. That's a habitual pattern that we always feel like that we need to get somewhere, do the next thing. Have a sense of humor about that. Oh, there I go again. Take a nice deep breath and let it sink down. Give yourself permission to not have to do anything for the next minute or two. And as the gong fades, just let your eyes open about halfway. As I said, don't be looking into the screen of your device. You're looking down just a couple of feet in front of you. Your eyes open about halfway, looking down under the eyelids. And soften your gaze so you're not looking at anything particular, just aware of the space that your body's sitting in. You can see your lap and your hands in front of you, a little bit to the sides. Just aware of your body, the space, and the breathing. And tune in particularly to this internal sensation that as you breathe in, it feels that your torso is filling and emptying. In that same place that we were just resting, continue to let the body breathe, but now you're doing it with awareness of the space that you're sitting in. We're cultivating the ability to simply pay attention without a lot of extra commentary. So when thoughts do arise and take you away into a series of thoughts so that you're no longer aware of your body and your breathing and your environment, but off in a daydream, at some point it will pop. And at that point, again, just smile and go, I was away. Now I'm back. And reconnect with posture, awareness of breathing, and the space you're sitting in. We'll do that for a couple of minutes. As the gong fades, if you need to, you can move a bit, adjust your posture. And as you retake your posture, we're going to move into more environmental awareness. So again, make sure you're not looking into your screen. And raise your gaze to a natural level. Open your eyes fully, ordinarily. And having taken your posture, you'll see that your gaze goes out a little bit below horizontal. And then soften. Soften your face muscles, soften the muscles around your eyes. Soften your gaze and open up your peripheral vision, side to side, top to bottom. Not looking out at a particular thing, but as if you're surveying a landscape. Just open to the whole experience of what you're seeing. Open your awareness to whatever you're hearing, near and far. Open your awareness to what you're feeling in your body. Notice it without reacting to it with movement, unless it's conscious movement, intentional movement. And here we're exploring how we engage with our world. So it's helpful to set an intention. Set your intention in your mind saying, however I engage with my world, may I be as mindful and kind as possible. When we say kind, that doesn't always mean nice. It's more like beneficial. May I be as mindful and of as much benefit to myself and others as possible. And now, instead of focusing on the internal sensation of the breathing, as the breath goes out, let your mind open up. Each breath, add a little more feeling of open spaciousness. Out, open, and a relaxed spaciousness. And do that with some intentionality for a few breaths. Until you feel like you can just relax in that spaciousness without needing to push out. You can just hang out in that open space. It's a space in which perceptions arise, appear in your mind. Colors, shapes, shades of light and dark. Sounds, loud and soft, high and low pitch. Bodily sensations, strong or subtle. Smells, tastes, and thoughts appear in that spaciousness. If we get caught up in our thoughts, our mind takes the shape of those thoughts, and that's all there is. But when our mind is open and spacious, a thought can arise and we can decide how to respond to it rather than just react to it. So let's explore all those perceptions. At any point, if your mind gets caught in a daydream, when it pops and you're back, just do a few more out breaths until you can relax into that open spaciousness for a bit. And let's explore what appears in our minds. And as the gong fades, if you need to readjust your posture, go ahead. And then taking that upright posture, raise your gaze all the way out, slightly above the horizon. Breathe out and imagine that your awareness extends 360 degrees all the way out to the sky. Breathe out, imagine that your awareness extends all the way around and above you. If you'd like, you can breathe out and imagine that it's the night sky, and your awareness extends out all the way out to the stars. Above, below, above the earth, below the earth. Infinite spaciousness. And within that spaciousness, all other beings on this planet are in that same space, under that same sky. We all share this earth. And we all share the same quality of wanting to survive and to thrive, which means freedom from fear and feeling of well-being, able to grow. Able to appreciate and enjoy this life. Be free from misery in body and mind. That's what we'd all like. That's what we all share. So tune into your heart of compassion. If it's helpful, you can even put your hand palm down over your chest at heart level, in the center of your chest. Because we're connected with everyone else. We can feel. Our mind has the capacity for spacious awareness and heartfelt feeling. First, feel your own wish for happiness, well-being in body and mind. I'd like to be able to relax. I'd like to be happy. I'd like to feel healthy. I'd like peace of mind. And you can do this now with your eyes open or closed, whatever is more comfortable to you. And think, I'd like to be free, free of fear, free of anxiety, free of physical suffering. There's a certain vibration we can feel in our hearts, in our bodies, in our minds. What it feels like to have that feeling of well-being. What it feels like to have that suffering and wanting to be free of it. And know that all beings feel that way. So imagine a loved one, several people, animals, any beings you have a strong connection with. And have the wish of kindness, and that is that as you breathe out, imagine you could send them that feeling of well-being, health, happiness, security, peace of mind. Breathe out, send that kindness out. Send all those good feelings from your heart of kindness. Kindness is wishing that they have well-being. Compassion is wishing that we all be free from suffering. So tune into your heart and your wish for your own freedom from suffering. And as you breathe in, imagine that you could relieve yourself and others of all those sufferings of body and mind. Pain, anxiety, fear. This is a transformative practice. You could even imagine that as you breathe in, you're drawing all those things into your heart of compassion that changes them into kindness. And you send out to yourself and others peace, health, and happiness. Transform dis-ease into ease. Dissolve the pain into relaxation. And as best you can, extend that out to all beings, all living beings that share this planet under this sky. Breathe in and wish they're free, they could be free from suffering. Breathe out and wish that they have well-being. And finally, we go deeper for ourselves and others. The causes of so much suffering are the poisonous emotions, not just emotions, but states of mind, all rooted in ignorance of jealousy, hatred, greed, pride, lust for power, intolerance, all underlying the ignorance that disregards our interconnectedness. Imagine that as you breathe in, you could extract that from ourselves and others like poison from a snake bite. And as you breathe out, imagine you could fill yourself and all beings with understanding, wisdom, kindness, compassion, love, tolerance, acceptance, generosity. A world free of hatred and ignorance. A world filled with wisdom and kindness. And as the gong fades, let go of what you're imagining. Just come back to your posture. Lower your gaze, the space that you're sitting in, and your body breathing. And we conclude our session by reconnecting with that intention we had earlier to be mindful and kind. And we can dedicate the practice we've just done towards that we continue that in our everyday life. And you can repeat after me or use your own words. May the practice we have just done be of even more benefit to others than to ourselves. And you can add in, and may it allow me to be of benefit to others. So thank you very much for your participation in this mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice.